welcome to another weekly vlog. It is Tuesday. I've just been into my mum's. I've taken her downtown to get some bits and pieces that she needed. Thankfully the rain stayed away. I was going to say the sun stayed away. It's been really like rain in 1 minute, dry the next all day. So we got that sorted. On my way back home now to have a homemade chicken korma, so that'll be nice. Nothing much happening this week. The date for applying for a secondary school place closes tomorrow, so I've done all that. I just hope I've done it correctly for Isaac. The light changed really weird there, didn't it? See the sun shining in from that side. I don't think anything. The main news at the minute, I try to like put things in here that's happening at the minute, so when I ever watch it back in the future, like years down the line, I know what was going on. Russia and Ukraine, folks, it's scary potatoes. I mean, Russia is a country you do not want to get on the wrong side of, and Boris is sending troops over. It's a bit concerning. We're going to have a war situation. Nobody likes war, obviously, but I'm extremely anti-war. I feel that people go to war too readily when there should be other ways of sorting things out. It's easier said than done, obviously, but I think of all those poor people being sent in, poor young lads being sent into situations that they're not going to come out of. I hope it doesn't come to that, but it's sad. And the old COVID thing, at the minute there are no restrictions in Northern Ireland. You can actually go out and about. If you are positive, you can still do what you want. There's no legal requirement to stay at home. Obviously it's still advisory. You should be doing that, and they encourage you to do that, but there's no legal thing that says you have to. Also, masks, although again you can't be punished for not wearing one, most places here I'm seeing have still got signs in saying we would appreciate if you still wore a mask. So for the most part, when we go out, like shopping centres, shops, we always wear masks just to be sure. Purely because I think they're cutting some sort of, like hedges that are really like woody, and the thing, all the stuff's going everywhere. It just hit the side of my car. You hear me go on about this purely because we have to be careful from the point of view of my parents, who are both vulnerable, and carers that are going in all the time to my parents, who are visiting people even more vulnerable. I mean, some people in palliative care. So we do need to be careful than the average individual. We do need to get on with things. We do need to learn to live with it. I agree with all that. They need to find like a happy medium. So they're now bringing in vaccines for 5 to 11-year-olds. Isaac's not very happy because he doesn't want an injection. He's going to be having one anyway. It's like, it's available, you're having it. It's like when you're older you can make your own mind up, but now if you're going to be offered it, you're having it. But that's pretty much all that's going on, the whole COVID thing. They're going to start charging for lateral flow tests, that's the other thing. And I heard this morning on the TV that they're looking at five tests for £20. They're going to still be offered free to staff in residential homes, but at the minute there's nothing to say that staff that front the NHS are going to get them for free, which on one hand they say the government can't afford them. They can afford plenty of parties and plenty of bonuses and plenty of contracts to people that they're friends with that aren't trained to do the jobs they're hired for, but they can't afford to give the NHS frontline staff an appropriate pay raise or lateral flow tests. So Muggins here has been hoarding lateral flow tests for the past month, and I've got about 20 boxes at home. So that's 140 tests I have sitting in the house, because I knew they would start charging, and people laughed at me, don't be silly. I says they will start charging for them eventually, and it's come to pass now, and I'm feeling rather smug with my 140 tests in the house. I tried today just for interest. I thought everybody's going to be ordering them now because the charge hasn't come in yet, and I went on to check, and yep, immediately there are no lateral flow tests available. So I think everyone's now starting to think the same thing. Get as many in as you can before they start to charge. I mean, when you have a kid at school or nursery or something, you have to test so much, and for us, I test every time I go into my mum's because I don't want to be carrying anything in. Isaac's friend Robert that he spends a lot of time with. Robert's mum is actually one of my mum's carers, so I need to be really careful when Isaac and Robert are together to not be passing, although their whole family had COVID last week, so it's like, poor buggers, half term. Anyway, I'm not going to waffle any longer. I've waffled for 5 minutes already. So welcome to the new weekly vlog. This is the first time I've recorded this week. I will check in later in the week if there's anything of any interest to share with you guys. What day is it? Wednesday. And you can tell what time of day it is. And we are just ready to do some reading of, wait to see this for evening's reading. The Boy on the Wooden Box. It's a story, Isaac. I'm talking about something serious and you're doing that. The story about one of the boys that Oscar Schindler saved. So this is what Isaac's reading at the minute. So I'm going to read a little bit more. He's taking it very seriously, obviously. He says it's boring. I said I wish we were...
It's not anymore.
Is it not now?
Belly fart.
Right, so anything you want to share with anyone watching?
Yes.
Don't fart.
I'm not going to. I like turtles.
Earlier that evening, my friend Yossel and I had carried an elderly woman on a stretcher to the ghetto infirmary, but we'd made a dangerous miscalculation. We'd waited too long at the infirmary with her before heading home and had stayed out past the evening curfew. You know what a curfew is? Ah! Give me it! It is Thursday. And little Dobby, don't you be climbing over. Little Dobby is a bit perplexed because Molly's not here. She keeps looking for her. Molly has gone for her groom. And Dobby's a bit, where's Molly? She keeps looking. I don't know, darling, where she is. She's not here, is she? Should we have some Weetabix? I think we should have some Weetabix. She'll show everyone what the weather's doing. This dog's not right. Right, let me show you what the weather's doing, folks. It's snowing. That's 2 footballs to give you an idea. Right, I'm going to get my Weetabix. Let's put on Darren's welly boots. And we're going to give the birdies some... Oh, look how bad it is. I put a frying pan out here. This sounds ridiculous. Oh, God, it's gone right down my neck. Get some of this stuff. This is suet pellets, which apparently is really good for birds in the winter. I think Darren's put some over in the bird table over there. I'll just get some of these as well in the little things over here. Trampoline. Jesus Christ. You can see the little robins coming. There he is. Bless him. You enjoy that, darling. Ooh, there's Dobby's ventured out for a wee. What are you doing? It's a bit snowy, folks. Just a wee bit snowy. Darren's back from dropping off Molly at the groomers. What do we say? You can hear him banging his shoes. Sunglasses in the snow.
So I can see, it's not bright. It's really bright and really snowy.
Well, you didn't look as bad as I did when I went into the back garden. I was covered.
I stopped all the way up in Cal. I've done a bit of filming. It's just white out. Roads covering up in front of you as you're driving. Where have you been? Are you going to see Mama and Dobby? Are they going to get the Christmas tree tin out? I dare get some secrets. It's raining, isn't it? It is. Should we go then? They look very nice. Have you just been to the salon? Look at that foot. Oh dear, it's cold, isn't it? Poor Molly. Do you want a treat when you get in, do you? Maybe it could be Chinese chicken night. We like Chinese chicken, don't we? Yeah.
Planned invasion. Despite its litany of lies, denials and disinformation, the Kremlin's intentions are clear for the world to see. Russia's leaders bear full responsibility for their reckless actions and the lives lost.
Well, can Ukraine resist the Russian invasion? General Lord Richard Dannatt, former head of the British Army.
I'm going to start a new segment in my vlog called Darren's Daily Pontification. It's going to be something that annoys you. Are you ready?
Okay.
Thursday, the 3rd of March is World Book Day. The children have to dress up.
Next week?
Mhm.
They're telling us now?
Mhm.
Could they not give us 2 weeks' notice so we can get something in without having to spend an absolute fortune to get it
Well,
in?
it's not the fact that they're having it next week, but I'm just thinking the fact that it's something else that they were going to have to spend money on to do with school.
Given notice, I don't mind, but not when they just drop it on you.
What day is this? That's next Thursday, yeah. So we've got a week's notice exactly. So Christ only knows what we're going to. Dobby's obviously not remotely annoyed there. She's sleeping.
Yeah.
So no, I expected you to be more annoyed. I expected you to runt, so you're not bothered.
As it's just sinking in that the gobshite that keeps sending this stuff out gives no consideration to anything.
So we'll have to think of a World Book Day outfit for Isaac.
I don't think his Darth Maul will fit, so we can't do Tyrion. If
Well,
it
we
fits,
can't do Tyrion because children should not be reading Game of Thrones.
then why do kids do horror characters on?
No, that's
Global Day?
Halloween. That's Halloween,
But some have done it on.
not on World
Global?
Book Day.
Well, he could change it then, can't he?
No, we can't. You have to put it a book that he would actually read. Here, he's reading one about the Holocaust at the minute, but that would be awful.
Stick a loincloth on him, some thorns on his head,
Send him
draw
as
a beard
Jesus,
on, and
yeah.
send him as Jesus.
Oh dear
I'm
me.
cross.
Right, we'll have to think of something.
Shall I do the Dobby impression?
No. It's Friday morning. Look at that sun. It's melting. The little bit of snow we had, well, quite a bit actually. Isaac's off sick. He's not very well. And I am dying. My joints are going crazy. So I'm going to lie down in bed for a while because I do not feel well at all. Hello. It's Friday. I feel like shit. I'm still in my pyjamas. I've still got makeup on from last night. That's a disgrace. I just went to bed with a banging headache. Isaac's off because he felt really sick all day. Doesn't have COVID. We've tested him on me. He stopped making such a lot of noise now, but he's trying to play Spider-Man, I think. I put it on when it was particularly loud, but now he's started playing quieter stuff. He's on his guitar upstairs. Sure, he's trying to play Crazy Train. I've no idea what that is. It's my guitar he's on and my bloody amp. Doing alright. That was Crazy Train. You won't do it now. Saturday. This is what I'm doing. It's about midday. Got up this morning with Isaac 8 o'clock to get him ready to go on his scouts thing, and he's like crying, I don't feel well, I can't eat any breakfast. So he didn't go. Darren had to take the other kids in that we were given a lift to because I couldn't get in contact with her mum because she was at work. And within half an hour of him leaving, Isaac's like, oh, I could have went, I feel okay. But he's full of cold, really, really bad, like head cold, and it could have went up and then crashed in the middle of the day. But I've been trying to stay awake. I've had to go back to bed. I'm in agony this past few days with the weather. I'm just so sore and so tired. I feel like my arms and legs are like a mixture between on fire and swelling up, and then I got these like electric shock pains as well as the normal throbbing aching. So I'm going to try and sleep for a couple of hours and then get up sort of 2 o'clock or so. So yeah, wonderful Saturday, guys, eh? Monday is Isaac's birthday. Today we were supposed to wrap his stuff and, you know, make sure everything was working and that. But obviously we're not going to get a chance, and Sunday is going to be with us all day as well, so... and then his birthday's on Monday. Darren picked up a birthday cake and some wrapping paper and stuff when he was dropping the other kids in, so at least we've got that much. I don't know if we'll be at my mum's tomorrow with him not being well. Oh God, we've not COVID, we've been tested, but I was so flipping tired. So yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep, guys. Sorry it's so dark, but I've just pulled the curtains. Look at them. We need to get blackout blinds because that's ridiculous. And the wind is shocking. It kept me awake most of the night last night. It was so loud. And next door must have bought a bed or something last week. And she had the old one lying outside to be picked up, which has been picked up. But all the polystyrene, the big sheets of it that came with the bed, has been blowing all up the street in our garden. She just left it. She didn't secure it, she didn't put it in the bin, and it's blowing everywhere, all over the place. Silly cow. Right, anyway, I'm going to go and try and sleep. And I'll check in with you guys later. Your eyebrows are looking particularly fetching tonight, Dobby. Very nice. Eyeshadow eyebrows, I'm sorry, but Darren has always wanted to see Dobby with eyebrows.
I wanted to put on a moustache, but Mum wouldn't let me.
That better wash out. It's just a little bit black.
Imagine if it doesn't.
Hello, it is Sunday, folks. I recorded a massive long bit driving into my mum's earlier, and I've deleted it because I talked for too long about stuff that I really shouldn't really be talking about. I will tell you the gist of it, but not going into any detail. I've just been into my mum's, heading home. We're at the Chinese. We're having a Chinese for tea because we haven't had one this week. Isaac missed out on his scouts, unfortunately, yesterday. They went on a trip to Belfast to visit the museum, a few other bits and bobs. Nothing really. I felt like something was crawling on my head then, because he's got a really bad head cold, but when he woke up in the morning he just felt awful, and so he wasn't at school on Friday. He missed out on the scouts yesterday. He's not too bad today, but he's still like absolutely bunged with cold. We don't have COVID, it's been tested. They've started to charge for the COVID test now, so I'm feeling rather smug with 20 boxes of them sat in the house, knowing this was coming.
of them.
Yep,
We're rich.
boxes. So, but when
What
you're,
I told us for £100
we're
each.
not selling them, Isaac. So when your kid like has to go to school and make sure they're negative, you test quite often. So you go through them. What else can I tell you? Nothing. Isaac, please don't fiddle with that. It's important that that's not faulty in any way. That could save your life. Put it, sort it out. So Isaac's birthday is tomorrow, and he will be 11. So he'll open his cards in the morning before school, and he'll open his presents when he gets back, because we won't have enough time to open presents and have breakfast and all that stuff. So the thing that I spoke about for ages, which I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about, but because on this channel, which very few people watch, as I've said before, I like to talk about current things. Obviously there's the Russia situation at the minute, which is just awful. I was watching Bald and Bankrupt. If you like a good vlog video mixed with a travel video, now this guy is called Bald and Bankrupt.
Amazing. And
And he travels around mostly Russia and places that used to be part of the Soviet Union. And he travels right into like the back doors of everywhere. I mean, he talks to local people, he speaks fluent Russian, he speaks Polish. Really interesting videos, and he'll like, people will invite him into their houses for tea, and they've got nothing, you know, they're really poor, but the hospitality. I learned that a babushka, which obviously we all know that Kate Bush sings about, is actually, I knew a babushka was something to do with women in Russia, but it's like a nice word for like an old Russian like grandmother, you know, the sorts that wear the headscarves and stuff. They're babushkas. And quite often he'll like go and he'll look after the babushkas and visit them, make sure they're okay, and give them little bits of stuff, something. They're like a proud people and they don't like handouts, but he tries to make it in such a way that it's something they will want and need without feeling like charity. But anyway, long story short, at the minute I sit down and wonder, he lives in Prague, he's from England originally. But I thought, I wonder, is he in anywhere near Russia right now? Because that's where he does most of his stuff. He's done ones in Mexico and Thailand and all sorts, but most of them tend to be associated around Russia and like the small countries that surround it. Not only is he there, he did an Instagram video from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, and the last video he uploaded, he was heading from Poland to the Russian-Ukrainian border, and that's just gone up. I know he's further in now, so he's right there in the middle of it. And it was really interesting watching him speaking to Ukrainian people as he was heading towards. This was last week before it started. And all the people were saying, what war? There won't be a war. There won't be an invasion. It's peaceful. Everything's fine. And now obviously we know it's started. So I'd really recommend that channel. If I remember, I'll put it in the description. But if I don't, just Google Bald and Bankrupt. It's a really good channel.
On Google, yes. Do it on Google.
Or search, you know what I mean. So yeah, that's the Russian situation. Scary. Apparently Putin is threatening nuclear, which obviously we can't go there or the lot of us will be done with. But yeah, YouTube. I don't want to talk for ages about this. This is going to be me signing off, by the way, because it's Sunday. It came to light a couple of days ago. I never found out until a friend posted about it on Facebook, because I don't use Instagram very much. And I've never watched people's Instagram stories, but to be quite honest, I didn't really know. I thought it was just people's profile pictures at the top. I didn't realise anything about stories. A girl has come out in the horror community on YouTube and has outed a male from the horror community who is around about 50. She's 16 or 17. And basically he's been sending her all sorts of inappropriate stuff for 2 years. I did delete what I put up earlier because I just got into details about opinions and stuff, which I'm not going to do. So he sent her pictures with his whole head in, so you can tell it's him. Basically a very inappropriate photographs. I don't think I need to say any more than that. He obviously has a foot fetish because he kept asking for pictures of her feet. But she posted up actually screenshots of the conversations, and they're not appropriate.
Like feet.
Some people are weird, Isaac, and they like feet. So anyway, she was 16. She said she'd known him for about 2 years, and she said she wanted to be completely sure before she said anything, so she set up a fake profile as a 12-year-old, and he did exactly the same thing to the profile of the 12-year-old. And he asked for a picture of her feet, which she sent. She said she took a picture off Google of feet, and he screenshotted this image that she'd sent and kept it. So there's a big long thing on Instagram on her story, really long, about all the ins and outs of it, which a friend had told me about, only because I was subscribed to the guy in question, and I have watched his videos and I have commented in his videos, and I was really shocked by it. He's completely in the wrong for what he's done. It's disgusting, but you know,
he's just weird.
Darren says it's more than weird, Isaac, when it's a 12-year-old girl and you're 50.
What?
It's illegal. But
he should go to jail and
but it started all kinds of witch hunts on social media for people, which I think's gone way too far, which aren't in relation to that, by the way. And it's just become quite disturbing. I spoke a bit earlier about being a woman and being in the YouTube community. Now obviously I am not really young, I've been through all that before. You do get a lot of creeps, you do get a lot of comments that are inappropriate. I don't get as many now as I once did when I was much younger. Obviously I would know much more now how to deal with them. Now I'm a lot older, in that you shut that down immediately. You delete, you block, you ignore, you make no certain terms known that you're not willing to receive stuff like that, to listen to compliments that you're not comfortable with. But I worry that it gets to the point that normal blokes, normal guys are on tenterhooks constantly about every little thing they say, or perhaps following the wrong account and someone saying, oh, you're really creepy because you're following this person, and why would you follow this person? And it's getting to be a real witch hunt, and it's getting to be the point that a guy, now this is no relevance to the other story that I'm talking about, because that was wrong and that was awful, and he's completely in the wrong, don't get me wrong, but this other culture's coming through behind that, and it's getting to the point that a guy can't actually say to a girl, you look pretty, or I like your hair, or you know, like a normal compliment, and it's making something that's just a nicety. I mean, I can watch a girl's video and she can look lovely in it, and I can say, oh, you look really pretty, I love your hair, but a man can't say that without people starting to point fingers and calling him a creep, and I think that's where we start taking it too far. If you're really, really uncomfortable with receiving a compliment, why are you okay with a woman saying to you, you look really pretty, you look really nice, and you're not with a man? Or on the other hand, some women are extremely comfortable with a gay man paying them a compliment, but if a straight man does the same thing, it's all kinds of wrong. So I think that fine line between being a creep and hassling women and just being nice and pleasant and paying someone a compliment, you have to, you know what I mean? And as I said already, this is in no relation to that other story whatsoever. It's just I've noticed on the back of that, I've noticed other stuff that just appears witch hunting. Darren is back with the aforementioned Chinese, so all is well with the world. So yeah, that's what's going on in the YouTube.
I nearly forgot your banana fritter.
Oh dear, that would be no good.
Yeah.
No banana fritter. No. That's what's going on in the world of YouTubes at the moment. More news about it every day, but it's a horrible thought that you can know people and think that look, I never knew the guy very well, let's be honest, but I would never in a month of Sundays. It's true though, people say when people are like that, you would never know, but usually there's something you think, oh no, that person's creepy. And it's funny in saying that, the person that I actually found out from, who's male, who basically wanted to let people know if they had collaborated with this person and it was up on their channel to delete it. That's why he had posted about it, because this individual's Instagram was removed following these, it's not allegations because there's physical proof of it, and I found out from this guy, and he said that he always felt really weird, creepy vibes from this individual. That wasn't something I felt, but what can you say? It just is a bit scary knowing that, you know, me and Darren talk about this quite often. We talk about the figures for men of a certain type, and they're so high in the percentage in certain areas, not certain areas, everywhere. It means that you must actually know individuals that are like that, and the thought of that is quite sobering. And not only that, like with anything, like with killers, like with thieves, the amount that get caught and the amount that exists, sorry, that's my thing you're saying there, are very different. That's what she said.
Yeah.
So how many are out there that we have no idea about? And this is just an example. This is someone everyone in the horror community knows. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't see the point in further spreading stuff, and because nobody that watches this will have a clue who he is, apart from possibly Alan, who will have heard by now because everybody and their dog is talking about it. Yeah, it's just weird. It's a bit. Plus, I think this should be an education from the young girl that's posted. I think she's maybe, I don't know exactly what age she is now, I'd say late teens. She said she got speaking to him when she was 16 and she was in contact with him for a couple of years. So maybe now she's a bit older, she's more confident to come forward, I don't know. But this should, if anything, for women, be an education for you on how to deal with individuals like this should you encounter them. Don't talk to them for 2 years. Don't accept compliments that you find creepy. Don't do things that you know. I mean, if you know a person's got a foot fetish and is really weird with teenage girls, don't put up a picture of your bare feet and send it to them. You know, it should be an education for young girls as well as reminding normal blokes that perhaps think they're being nice and paying a compliment just to be more careful as to what way. What I was saying earlier is, now that you're back in the car and you're male, I can compliment a woman on a video. If I'm watching, I'll just take someone out of the blue, Florentina, and I can say, oh, your hair's lovely, or I love your makeup, or I love what you're wearing. And that's a compliment, and that's nice. Or if Sean was to compliment a woman, that's nice, and that's seen as being complimentary because Sean's a gay man. But what if it's a man, women are like, oh, no, that's creepy.
Yeah.
So if you're a woman, you can compliment a woman. If you're a gay man, you can compliment a woman. But if you're a male and you compliment a woman, everyone thinks you're creepy. And I don't think that's not fair. I compliment women all the time. I compliment men all the time if I think, but I'm really careful. This is just proving the point. I'm really careful about what men I would pay a compliment to because you don't want to give them the wrong idea. And why is it like that? Why can I compliment Florentina or like spooky astronauts or something, but I wouldn't have the same ease about complimenting a man?
Because back of your mind says they're gonna go.
There's certain men I know I can, like Joe would be one. If I paid Joe a compliment, I know he'd be like, oh, thanks mate, and that'll be it. Or Chris, Strange Monkey, again, same thing. I'd be, oh, thanks for that, and that would be, you know, there'd be no thought about it. But then men you maybe don't know, or Alan, Kermit's Ghost, you'd be like, oh, thanks very much. But there's some men you would be more careful because you're not entirely sure that they won't think that you fancy them. And it's like, do some women feel that if a man pays them a compliment?
Yeah, but there's compliments and then there's, like, this girl, for instance.
Yeah.
If it was a stranger in the street said, oh, I really like your feet, she'd run a mile. She should treat it the same way online. She doesn't know them.
That's what I was trying to say. You know, it should be an education for any young girls that see this. Not that any young girls is watching my video, but it should be an education as to what to tolerate and what not to, and you need to learn to shut that down immediately so that these guys don't have girls to prey on, which, you know, teenage girls don't have the same level of confidence as an older woman does in that respect, and sometimes they feel they're being rude and all sorts by, I don't know. It doesn't help as well when the individual is so well known and highly regarded in the community that they're a part of.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help. They don't want to alienate themselves from other people by saying this guy's done this, because people will be like, nah, he wouldn't do that. So she's actually made sure she's had the proof, and she's made sure she's set up the profile of a 12-year-old to make entirely sure that people don't say, ah, well, you look older, or somebody's reversing out onto the main road.
Yeah, it's only a 60s one.
So yeah, I had no intention to talk for long, and I've talked long again, so I will stop talking about it, but that's what happened. Scary potatoes. And we are now going home. The smell of the wonderful Chinese is filling the car, and I'm looking forward to getting home and hoping it's so cold they can't smell it. So hopefully when we get home the dogs haven't left us any little unwrapped presents on the floor, because that would really get your appetite going for Chinese.
Oh, one of those with the skin on it.
Oh, don't. You don't have to get that graphic about it. So yes, this is what's happening. I shall see you guys next week. So this is now, I've got 3 lots of vlogs to edit now, 3 weeks worth of vlogs, so I will try and get some of that edited this week. The thing is, when you don't do much of anything, it's like, oh, is anybody even watching these? And to those of you that are, thank you, but yeah, I shall switch off. Thank you for watching.